John Pynakker with the Mojave Valley Daily News, and this is Valley Voices, brought to you today by Tri-State AC Hero. They would like to thank their customers for naming them the best heating and air conditioning company in the Mojave Valley Daily News Best Of for the third year in a row. Today I am joined by Gina Covert. Gina is a teacher, administrator, coach, instructional director, and athletic director. But right now, she is the Career and Technical Education Director for the Colorado River Union High School District.
That's a mouthful, huh?
It is. And people don't know this, but a few years ago, I actually worked for you.
You did.
I did the
Law enforcement
down at River Valley, and I had to report to Gina, and she kind of directed me for what I was doing.
Mine was vicious.
But so the Career and Technical Education is the culinary, the welding, the business classes.
Right. In your and I day, we called it vocational education. But with the advancing technologies and changing in careers in general across the United States, the name had to change too. So we modernized it, and now we're Career and Technical Education. So when people say voc ed doesn't exist anymore, just the name doesn't. We still do really good things.
Whenever you hear CTE, figure vocational education.
Yep.
Law enforcement, fire safety. What's the big event that you guys go to every year that are
down in Tucson?
Yeah.
Yeah. So every year down in Tucson in July, they have the Career and Technical Education professional development training in Tucson for 4 or 5 days. And everything from school district administrator conferences to director conferences, teachers, and they even have very specialized breakout sessions for every type of career field you could think of. So they go and they get to see the modernized equipment that's coming up for classroom instruction, and then also industrial. One of our biggest goals is to make sure that what we're using in the classroom is equivalent to what is currently being used in the industry, and we try to keep up. Without that partnership and that program, we wouldn't be able to keep up, because once we get in our classrooms, they hog tie us to our desks and we don't come back out.
That's right. Kept in a cave.
Yes.
I got one more question about that before we get to what I really asked you here for. Skills USA.
Yes.
Is another, it's part of the CTE program. And it seems like every year, students from CRUHSD are the ones that are dominating down there.
They are.
And this past year was another big year for you.
Yep. River Valley had several kids that made it to the national level. Ethan Frum being one of them, and you'll have to forgive me because I can't remember all of their names. But they just received their banners last week for their Chapter of Excellence Awards. We've had teachers, national teacher recognitions for Skills USA, but that's not our only CTSO. We have HOSA, which is your allied health programs and medical terminology students and nursing students, and they've been doing wonderful. We've had state officers with our HOSA program. We have FCCLA, which is our early child education and education professions, culinary, and we've had state officers in that program and award winners and big checks for our service projects lately.
Awesome.
So, and then we have FBLA and Ed Professions. So did I get them all? Skills USA, HOSA, FCCLA, FBLA, and Ed Rising. Yeah, 5 different organizations.
Well, it's a great program.
Yes.
Another great program, and why I asked you here, is the Tri-State Youth Internship and Leadership Program. So you've been with it from the beginning.
Yes.
You were the vice president.
Uh-huh.
But you have some big news.
I do. So I am the new president of the board for Tri-State Youth Internship and Leadership. And it is a nonprofit that was founded by Dr. Ziri, but it was founded as a result of us needing in our career and technical education programs a community outreach and partner. And it's kind of like the cherry on top of our program. We need our community members working with us in this education process, and TSY stepped up to the plate.
It's a great program. I know that it's been building every year. Ran into some issues this past year with the pandemic.
Yep.
You had a lot of people signed up and ready to go for this when it stopped. Is that right?
We did. I think we had approximately 60 partners between Lake Havasu, Kingman, and Bullhead City. ready to take on interns, and we had like 5 or 6 interns already signed up for Lake Havasu, approximately 10 in Kingman, and then we had jumped to I think 40 or something like that here in the Bullhead City area, which was the original location for starting those internships. And when COVID hit, all disappeared.
Slam on the brakes.
Yep.
Well, can you talk a little bit about the goal of the program? I know we hear internship and leadership, and it sounds like it's based on helping the kids, but it's really a lot bigger than that.
Yeah.
Right?
So what we're trying to do is kind of grassroots back to like when I was a kid. When we got our first job, it might be minimum wage, it might not be, right?
Yeah.
But we were working alongside our parents, our grandparents, our neighbors, learning how to work, developing those basic job skills. And so when we turned 16 and we were legal and legit, we had a foundation to take off and running. Now we need students when they graduate from high school with those basic job skills and a little more. And in most cases, entry-level positions now require credentials. So I'll use the nursing program for an example. Your first step into a nursing program is probably going to be a certified nursing assistant. And you can get that credential as early as 16. But it requires a mentor to get it. You have to have your class hours, you have to have your mentor hours, and then you have to have a little experience if you're going to now go to work and get paid to do it. And so the TSY organization is helping us develop those mentors and those relationships and bridging that gap. So when my students turn 18, they are really employable. And if they leave our community and continue at NAU, ASU, they've got some job skills, some experience, and they can continue to work in the field of their dreams while finishing their degrees or programs.
Yeah, build on that from there.
Right.
No, that's awesome. All right, so if you can run us through kind of the process. You've got interns, you've got leaders, and you've got mentors. Interns are obviously the kids 16 to 25?
16 to 25.
Okay. And mentors are the businesses that mentor these students.
Yes.
So how do you connect the dots?
Okay, so then I have my advisory members or my associate members. And my associate members help me because I have a day job and they have day jobs. But they help me by reaching out to their friends, their partners, their doctors during a doctor's appointment or whatever and say, hey, have you heard about TSY? And are you willing to mentor? And so my associate members reach out to those individuals, get us the appointment so we can go in, set up a contract with them. What are you looking for? What age group? What does the student have to come to work for you? A lot of cases, especially medical, they have to have a background clearance. The kids have to have one, the mentor has to have one, and so we make sure that they get all of their ducks in a row to set that up. The associate members are also helping us develop curriculum. So before we release these students out to our mentors, we do a kickoff event where we do some job skills and communication skills, OSHA reminders, things like that, so that we know that they've got that foundation and what we expect from them. Setting that standard one more time, you've been taught this in the classroom. Your teachers sound like Charlie Brown, wah, 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 wah. Okay, it's real now. And we just want to remind you what's real, and the mentors are expecting real, not play.
Yeah, and it's one of those that the mentors are paying these interns, so you don't want to. You want to make sure that they're actually doing what you're paying for.
Yes,
right.
And in this case, we are so grateful to our community because there are organizations like this all over the nation where the students do not get paid.
Oh.
The mentors are not giving them that paycheck and that real world experience of managing their money, giving them some guidance on, how do you plan for medical insurance, that kind of thing. And our mentors are stepping up to the plate there and talking to them about, savings, tithing, bank accounts, that kind of thing. So
important adult things.
Yes.
That makes sense. Leaders are involved in this as well, the
Yes.
leadership part of it. That I don't know very much about. Can you explain how that?
Yeah, so we've been reaching out to different organizations that have people that go out to communities and talk about how to be a leader. The idea oftentimes is that, until you're in upper management or unless you own a company, you're not a leader. And that's not the philosophy of our CTSOs. A student can be a leader among their peers, a leader within the department they work in, a leader simply by being a great example. And so we look for guest speakers to show up to events like College Application Day, that kind of thing, and provide that message to students. One of the best books I ever read was Being a Great Leader by Being a Great Follower, and so that's the kind of thing that we want to make sure our students are aware of.
Great. All right, we're going to talk a little bit more about this, but we have a sponsor, so I've got to read their commercial here. So Tri-State AC Hero has recently been named the best heating and air conditioning company by the readers of the Mojave Valley Daily News for the third straight year. With 24/7 emergency service offered, the family-owned business is here to help. Tri-State AC Hero strives to make sure that customers are always given options when it comes to replacing or repairing a unit. They are not looking to make a fast dollar, but instead provide trustworthy service and build loyal customer relationships, whether it's residential, commercial, or refrigeration job. Right now, you can get $500 off a new install. They also have a summer maintenance special for just $79, but you have to act quick. This expires September 30th. What doesn't expire is their $78 diagnostic fee, which will be waived if you choose to have the repairs done at the time of service during normal business hours. Remember, they always give a 10% discount to military, first responders, teachers, and senior citizens. So for repairs, new installations, or periodic preventative maintenance, call 928-444-4395 and give Tri-State AC Hero a try. See why they were named Best Heating and Air Conditioning Company.
Do you know we've had a couple of students the last couple of years that have done that?
Interns at...
Well, we've partnered with Mojave Community College, and through the WAVE JTED program, they get their tuition, fees, books, that kind of thing waived if they take college classes in the evening.
Wow.
And the HVAC program is one of them. And our first year partnering with the HVAC program, we had a young man complete their residential and their commercial in 1 year.
Wow.
The kid would go to school, go from high school straight to MCC, work through all of their components until they kicked him out every night. And he did it all year long and went straight to work as an HVAC
awesome.
tech.
That's a motivated student, that's
That
for sure.
was.
They've got I've toured their facility up there for HVAC, and it's a phenomenal facility. They've done a great job up there. Dr. Hamlin, as you know, the dean up there, she's doing a great job.
Yep.
All right, so about the time that you were set to do this for last year, the pandemic hit and that kind of shut things down. Is there any other effects that it's had, or are we good? Are you picking up now and getting ready to start moving on?
No, it's changed everything significantly across the board. So we're going to probably have to do some virtual things and then also some live things, because we're hearing from some of our organizations that they cannot guarantee that they're even going to be allowed to take in interns, expand their employment base, or that kind of thing by this summer. So we'll be working very closely with our mentors on determining what that's going to look like. We have some students that were ready to take classes this fall, and because of the pandemic, they're still not allowed in those facilities. And in the spring, as we roll out, the pandemic's going to roll away slowly. They're going to be gradually letting that student back into those facilities. So we are looking for virtual training models, both at the high school level, college level, and then eventually the intern model. So I've attended a lot of virtual internship meetings on what we might be able to do and how we can make those look.
Do you feel pretty good about what you're going to be able to do?
Yep, I just need bodies.
Okay.
Bodies to help me roll it out.
All right. So what's the timeline on this? Are you when you talk about looking for bodies, are you looking for people right now?
Oh, absolutely. So we're getting ready to do a fall associate member review. So we'll call our former associate members for that review. Then we will open up applications again for any other additional associate members that want to join us. And then we will look at developing a schedule for the spring, virtual schedule and a in-physical schedule for usually in May is when we take the student applications, and we'll still want to take those. Depending on our mentors' responses back, we will get some physical internships. I'm not sure how many we'll be able to do. It really depends on what happens the next couple of months in our numbers.
Right.
We watch the CDC regularly. However, there are some facilities that are able to take a couple, and just last week I had a young lady that's in a college class, and she's one of our adults. She needs some volunteer hours to meet some of the requirements for her homework assignments. I contacted one of my mentors and said, hey, I've got a college kid, needs some volunteer hours, needs to do some homework. Will you be willing to mentor him? And the mentor stepped up.
Oh, that's
So it's going to look a little different, but we're going to do what we can to make those needs met.
We're in a world that looks a little bit different than it
Very
did 6 months
different.
ago. So right now you're still, I mean, if a mentor wants to step up and say, hey, put me on the list, I'm ready, come summertime or whatever. Same thing with the interns. You're not making a push right now, but anybody that is interested for this next
Come
like
spring.
this class,
Yep.
they can contact you now.
Yes, they can.
Okay. So what is there something that's urgently needed right now? You said the first thing you're going to look for is associate members.
Yes, so we're going to contact our current associate member base, and if there's anybody out there that thinks that they would like to help us with the development of the curriculum, creating some of those virtual experiences for our future interns, that would be our first step. We would do that throughout the spring semester so that when summer comes and students have a little more time on their hands, if everything's good, we can put them into locations for mentors. If it doesn't look like it's good, then we work with our mentors to figure out, can an intern work from home and fulfill a need for you, and do that next step.
Can you think of something that would maybe a field of study that would lend itself well to doing it remotely?
I think that if all of the software protocols are in place, that medical assisting and things like that would work really well from home, because the student would be entering data, and as long as they've got the security protocols in place, and our intern would be background checked, and then also have to sign whatever technology procedures, I think that one would work really well. In the case of culinary, obviously, we need a place to put them.
Yeah.
And, oh heavens, HVAC, we need a place to put them. We also run into the issue too, is there are some positions where they have to be 18. So if you have an intern opportunity for a 16 to 18-year-old, that is one of the areas that we have had kind of a weak spot for, because in most cases, the mentors that we have had need an adult. So if you're in that little niche and you can take a 16 to 18-year-old, like Boys and Girls Club or swimming instructors, that kind of thing, and you need our assistance in finding those individuals, we'll be more than happy to help with that.
There you have more interns than mentors.
Yes.
What about is there a going through your stuff and just from what I know about DSY, it seems like it's pretty heavily leaning towards the medical field now. Dr. Ziri, and then you've got a nurse on your board and that. So maybe that kind of helps tilt it that way. Maybe it's just the community is very health oriented. I know our nursing program, MCC, is awesome. Is there some area where you get requests from the interns saying, hey, I'd really like something like this that you're having a hard time finding?
So we have a lot of IT and graphic design students, and so that is an area where sometimes we can't find the exact spot for them. And it just really depends, because with computer information systems, it's such a broad field.
Sure.
That we've had some students work with cable, we've had some students work with our own IT department. We've done 2 or 3 interns every year at Colorado River Union High School District and put them in our IT department, and they help scrub all the computers, reboot them for the new year, do things like that. So, but that is one area. I think that we also have the new AP program, the computer science AP program at Mojave High School. So we have some students that are going to have some programming skills.
And advanced skills coming out. Oh,
yeah.
That's great. Well, and graphic artist, you said?
Oh yeah.
All right,
We have
Kendrick.
some great graphic artists.
Larry Kendrick. I happen to know you guys use graphic artists, so give her a call. How do we contact you? If you're an intern or a mentor or a leader that wants to be part of this, how do they contact you?
Okay, there's two ways to contact me. If you're a student, contact me through the high school district, and you can reach me at my high school district email or come to my office. The district offices have moved, so we are now located on Mojave High School campus, but I also go to River Valley campus at least once a week, have an office there. So if the students sign up on the door, I will call them at a class and meet with them as far as internships. If it's an adult who's interested in being part of the TSY program specifically, I can be reached via email at gina.covert, C-O-V as in Victor, E-R-T, it really is covert, at tsyil.org.
Great. And mentors?
Mentors, same thing.
Same way?
Yep.
Okay. Anything we didn't discuss?
I don't think so,
Got
except
it
that
all?
we're so excited and we're looking forward to just getting rid of COVID and doing real fun things again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's a great program, and if you're not familiar with it, hopefully this video had help you understand what it's all about. You've done a great job on it, that's for sure. And congratulations on being the president now, the head
Yeah,
cheese.
thank you. I think.
Right. So thank you, Gina. Thank you to our sponsor, Tri-State AC Hero. Call them today at 928-444-4395. Find out why they were voted the best heating and air conditioning company by the readers of the Mojave Valley Daily News. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.